The battered but proud people of the Empire State. From the financial and entertainment epicenter of New York City to the sleeping and empty small cities and towns of upstate, which once bustled with manufacturing, mining, and farming. We all know from inspiration, history, and nature, we deserve a return to the success and growth of generations past, a birthright being squandered by corruption in Albany, and the depredations of an insecure, scheming mountebank posing as governor, who loathes both us and himself. As liberty beckoned to enslaved peoples behind the Iron Curtain via American broadcasts after World War II, we now say, believe, rise, and join us. Welcome to Radio Free New York.
Hey guys, welcome to Radio Free New York. I'm your host, Andrew Hollister, and we've got Kevin Wilson with us.
Howdy.
Hey Kevin, glad to have you here.
Absolutely.
You know, what's really good, I think we've got our listeners trained really well, because I see the live stream is already filling up instantly, and we've already even got our first comment. So,
nice.
You guys are awesome out there. I will apologize to you guys. I know we had to run a rerun yesterday. I had a little bit of an emergency with all the rain we had over the weekend, and then again Monday morning, and the office park that my company is in, that we rent some space here, they had a leak or something, and there's just water all over the place. Luckily, not on any of our equipment or anything like that. But
Yeah, because I was about to say, you do computer things. You're not supposed to get those wet.
Yeah. So we were fortunate enough that our stuff is pretty well protected anyways. We've got, kind of some extra stuff. We don't have anything electronic on the floor, but some of the other people across the way were not so fortunate, and they're still doing remediation actually as we speak. So yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah, not good.
You had a less fun few days than I had over the weekend.
Uh-oh, what happened to you?
Well, no, it's a good thing. So.
Oh, okay.
Well, I did discover something about myself, right? So my parents are moving. They just sold their house out in the Utica area, and they're trying to get rid of a bunch of stuff. They're trying to downsize. And in the process of getting rid of their stuff, I rediscovered my Super Nintendo.
Oh,
right? So
nice.
I found my Super Nintendo. I found these old weird games that I have. I have Kirby's Avalanche, which is kind of like a Tetris type game. There's a home improvement game where you play Tim Allen and you fight dinosaurs or Tim the Toolman Taylor, and you fight dinosaurs with power tools.
Okay.
So that's a weird one.
Yeah.
Someone hid a tool of his, and they said he's a caveman, so he should go back to the dinosaur age, and that's why he's fighting dinosaurs with power tools.
It makes perfect sense, yeah.
Yeah, there's a logic in it. And then I also discovered that despite the fact that I'm likely to forget your name 5 minutes after meeting you, I remembered where all of the hidden passages are in Donkey Kong Country, despite the fact that I haven't played that game for 20 years.
There you go. Nice. No, that's yeah, no, that's awesome. It's funny that you bring that up, because over the weekend, it was my little cousin's birthday. She just turned 14, and we're trying to, get her a game system for her birthday. Of course, it was out of stock and back ordered, and we're dealing with all of that. But it brought up the conversation of all the old games that we used to play growing up. Everything from Duck Hunter to Crash Bandicoot to everything else, and it was kind of a nice little nostalgic moment for us over the weekend, just kind of walking through and talking. So naturally, Yolana's now digging through the house trying to see what old games she can find. We're gonna have a game night.
It's awesome. Love it.
Yeah. So we've got a good amount of things to talk about today with you guys. Kevin actually shared with me this kind of goofy New York poster that I think we're going to be talking about. I should have gotten a picture of Cuomo's painting too, so we could have them side by side.
It's bizarre. So it's same thing, kind of same concept. Well, maybe over the break we'll see if we can get an image up of that.
I've got it. We're there. It's up.
Okay, good. Yeah, I can't see what you're actually putting out there. I have no idea. Did you put up the image?
Yep. Yeah, well, the poster. I don't have
There,
his
the poster.
original painting from
Yeah.
before, but the poster's up. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's with the sea of something of conflict. Or what do you call it?
Yeah.
I,
Yeah. I think so. I'm looking it up right now. But the poster is up.
Wait, Sea of Division, because it's referenced in the new poster. Yeah, like, okay, so for those of you who can't see this, who are listening to this on the radio, there's a poster that Governor Cuomo put out. It says, New York's tough, smart, united, disciplined, loving. Wake up, America, forget the politics, get smart. Andrew Cuomo, that's a quote. It's a love wins rainbow. It's a weird-looking sun. Donald Trump is sitting on the moon for some reason, saying it's just a flu. It's a weird little mountain, which I guess references the mountain that he made a couple weeks ago. The Jabba the Hutt mountain.
The Jabba the Hutt mountain?
Yeah.
Mount Jabba. Now, where's the
Yeah.
mountain? I'm trying to look at the mountain. Or is that what the green thing is supposed to be there?
Like,
Yeah,
I'm
that's
assuming that's what the green thing is. Like, it
Okay.
looks like a mountain to me. I mean,
kind of like
there's
slimmed it up a little bit so it doesn't look so Jabba the Hutt like.
yeah, it's more of a kind of regular peak, but they got all sorts of stuff in there. There's masks. They're bragging about the hand sanitizer. I mean, it's weird they don't mention the nursing home thing. You know, I can't imagine why they wouldn't mention that. And there's, the people, including Cuomo's dog Captain, pulling down the curb.
Yeah, I see it there. What is?
Yeah, no, Captain's in it too. He's there. He's part of the story. He's part of this poster now. And, there's a New York leads again thing that's glorifying Andrew Cuomo. It says 111 days of hell. Have you ever seen one of those Ben Garrison cartoons?
No.
Seen one of those? Usually it's more of a right-wing thing. But
No.
Ben Garrison cartoons, like, they like label everything, and it's just like a cacophony of like a whole bunch of stuff going on. Usually they're a little bit more conspiratorial. This is like a weird, nostalgic left-wing version of that. Like, I feel like I'm having a fever dream looking at this poster.
Yeah, it's like it's really strange. Like I'm looking at this, and like one of the interesting things I see on here is out of state ban. And I'm not quite sure what that's referencing to. There's like kind of like a creek or a river flowing through
That's
this.
Economy Falls.
Yeah, where
That's what that is.
So the economy is falling there, and then like towards the bottom is the out of state ban. And I'm wondering if that's like what's supposed to be making the economy like crash down into the sea of division.
It's a great question.
And I think we should maybe talk about that. There might not be enough time in this segment, but I mean, Cuomo just did this new executive order where if people come in from another state and don't provide their contact information to the police, they could be fined $2,000. And so it'd just be interesting to see if like this out of state ban on the economy falls here, pouring into the Sea of Division. If this came out before Cuomo decided to do that, and so now he has this poster that he made, probably saying like banning people from traveling state by state is causing a poor economy, and now he's making this executive order to try to like strong arm people and be like, hey, if you come into New York, the police need to be able to check on you, and if not, $2,000 ban. Guess what? People are gonna be like, yeah, I'm not going to New York State.
Yeah, right. People just ain't gonna show up. Which, I mean, maybe is the point. But and are they only checking airports? Is that how it goes? I don't know.
So it's interesting because I had somebody who did fly in from California, and they filled out the paperwork, but then there was nowhere at the airport for anybody to collect the paperwork. And no instructions on like where to give it or where to do. So they're like, yeah, they made this big deal. We got on the plane, we filled out all this paperwork, ready to go, and nowhere to give it. Nobody asked for it. Nothing at the airport. He's like, I don't know what we're supposed to do with this paperwork. I thought we were going to hand it to people when we get off the plane, and nobody seemed to know where the paperwork goes or what to do with it or anything, which is pretty typical for New York State. Just
that's how
terrible,
it goes.
awful communication, just, royal decree by the governor, no follow-up implementation or education on how things are supposed to be executed. But, feels warm and fuzzy, so there we go.
Yeah. I don't know. There's... Yeah, and I got some issues with that, and maybe we'll go into that stuff after the break here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, guys, if you haven't checked out the poster yet, check out the poster. We're going to go to break here. Maybe we'll talk about it a little bit more when we come back from break. We'll talk about more of this communication issue, more of this travel issue, this fine issue. And then we'll talk about the new New York State license plates, because they came out like 2 weeks ago. I didn't even realize. So we'll talk about that and more when we come back on Radio Free New York.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at SimpleTech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, SimpleTech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Catch a wave at Waldameer.
Waterworld opens daily at 11 with a giant wave pool, water playgrounds, relaxing river, and exciting body and tube slides like the incredible new 6-lane Rally Racer. The Rally Racer is the longest, fastest slide in Waterworld. Come experience the excitement as you race your family and friends. And Waldameer opens at noon with a variety of thrill rides and family rides like the exciting new Whirlwind spinning coaster. Due to COVID-19 restrictions, Waldameer is limited to 50% capacity, so there's no free admission. Guests must purchase admission tickets at waldameer.com or at the park. Children under 1 are free. Face masks are required. So visit waldameer.com, purchase your admission tickets, and come have some fun.
Catch a wave, catch a day at Waldameer. Your wet and wild summer getaway. Excitement waits for you at Waldameer. Waldameer in Erie, PA.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
You're listening to Radio Free New York.
All right. Welcome back to Radio Free New York. I'm your host, Andrew Hollister. We've got Kevin Wilson here with us.
Howdy.
And we've got Cuomo's poster with us, too.
We sure do. We don't want it with us, but it sure is here.
Here it is. So here's the thing about this poster. I'm going to throw it up on the screen for you guys to check out. You can take a peek at it. at the very top, it says New York Tough. And as I drive around on 390, 490, and kind of, across the state, I keep seeing those Amber Alert signs. And I see the New York, or what are we? It's like, we are New York strong, we are New York tough. Do you know what I'm talking about, Kevin?
Yeah, I've seen some of those.
Yeah. So I see those, and it's so funny. I was coming home. I think it was yesterday, maybe the day before. I drive by one every day on the way home from work, and it was all like broken and blurry. So it was just like, we are New York, and then it was just like hieroglyphs. And it was, to me, I was like, that's actually a little more true. New York is a little confused right now. We have bad communication from government. It doesn't make sense, and nobody knows what it was supposed to say. Like that, to me, I meant to snap a picture of it. That was like a much more accurate, description of the state of New York right now, and certainly the leadership from state government.
Yeah, but New York State leads again. It's in the poster, Andrew.
Yeah.
It's right there. And I did just read the four names, the titles over it. It says Doctor Knows Best, Smiling Rob, 56, and Magnificent Melissa. That's how they titled those. And I also, there's some little gems in there like Boyfriend Cliff. Oh, because Cuomo made a thing about his daughter's boyfriend. Okay, cool.
Oh, I didn't see. Oh, yeah. I see
there's
that
all
now.
sorts of weird, like the more I look at it, like the weirder it gets. Like I just keep finding more weird stuff in there.
Yeah, like the cruise ship with the giant octopus, like in the corner there, or wasn't?
Yeah. So
Sure.
remember when the cruise ship got all those infections like way back early, like in February?
Yeah,
That's
just
what it's referencing.
don't understand the octopus or the kraken or whatever it's supposed to be.
I don't know. It's part of the Sea of Division. Andrew, don't question it.
Is it
You
though?
know, and the
Because it
winds
looks
of
like the
fear
sea's
are-
already divided at the end there in the middle. I don't know.
It's divided by the peak year, and and then reopen day 111. And they're kind of, I feel like they're doing a mission accomplished thing here, but
Something. What's also interesting is they've got the quote in there: "Tell the people the truth, and they will do the right thing," which is kind of funny because that's what Sweden did, right? But not New York. New
Yeah.
York was like, "We're gonna tell you what to do. We're gonna mandate it. We're gonna lock you down. We're gonna shut everything out down, and we're not gonna allow you to voluntarily do anything. Like, we're just going to have like hard, heavy hand of government on the people and on the businesses." Whereas other countries were like, no, we'll just let you do it voluntarily. Here's the information. Do the right thing.
yeah.
And so I think that's interesting to point out. Now, did Cuomo have this commissioned himself? Like, where did this originate from?
That's a great question. All I know is they revealed it at the press conference the other day, or yesterday, and it's very similar in style to the other painting that they did, the Sea of Division painting. Yeah, it's weird. It's weird, old timey, 19th century comic style art, political comic style art. There's so much going on in these posters, and I think we must have talked about this on.
We did.
The other
Yeah.
one.
I think we had it up, or I think maybe Bob and I had talked about it. I'm not sure, but I definitely remember seeing it and talking about it on the show.
But if you want it and you want to have this up forever and you want to look at it closely, New York State is selling these. They are selling them.
What's
for-
it cost, Kevin?
For a mere I think it's $14.99.
Oh,
That's what
wow.
it is. Oh, $14.50 plus shipping. Even better deal. Guys, get them while you can.
With 3 simple payments of
With 3 simple payments of 20% of each of your paychecks,
Oh.
you too can pay extra to get this poster.
Yep, and marvel at it and just wonder what they I don't necessarily dislike the poster, to be honest. I'm looking at it and it's provoking thoughtful conversation, but at the same time I'm like, I don't think it shows Cuomo in a positive light in any way, so I'm kind of feeling like there's more negatives in here than positives.
Yeah, but I don't know. I do. I almost want to buy one. Just it's so weird. It's such
Yeah.
a weird piece of political art. Like I almost want one, but also I don't want to like encourage this bonkers behavior from our governor. And I keep finding more stuff in there. The Fed clouds of confusion, CDC, White House task force. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, yeah.
There's so much in here. It's weird.
Well, and I see Nate here on YouTube. He commented in, the better question is, how much taxpayer money did he spend to have this made? And that's a great question. So we don't actually know if he spent money to have it made or where this came from. I think the original painting, he used campaign funds, right? It was like $30,000 in campaign funds for the
Yeah.
original.
I mean, it's for sure worth asking, right? Like, did they
Yeah.
they spend any or any state funds on this? And if they did use campaign funds, then why is this being revealed at like a press conference of like an official government function? Like that's something to think about, something to ask about. Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think we have significantly more questions than answers here, for sure. Jay on Facebook says some trippy 70 kids TV show. Like, yeah, I could go with that.
Something like that.
I'm sure that like the more you look at it, the more your head just kind of spins. But
Just
yeah,
slowly descend into madness. That's what this poster is. This is someone was in quarantine too long, and that's what came out.
Yep.
Maybe it's just like a fan poster. Like this is all the bonkers Cuomo worship. It's just got projected into a cartoon, into this whatever this is, and
Little
here we are.
mountainy island thing. Well, yeah. Slimmer version of Jabba the Hutt. He went on keto.
Yeah, exactly. Although I do see like there was a slide that was being used a couple years ago. It was like instead of saying New York tough, it said New York smart, loving, united, tough, and people were making fun of it because it spelled out the acronym slut.
Oh, jeez.
And people were like, oh, "What are you trying to say about us, Cuomo?" So I see they changed that around because they were using that for a few days, and people were roasting them on Twitter.
Yep. Well,
So we didn't get that, unfortunately, because that might have put me over the top. I might have had to buy it if that's how they spelled it out.
they failed in the marketing department. They could have sold millions of them.
Missed opportunity. Governor Cuomo, if you're listening to this, update your poster, and I'm in.
There you go.
I'm
Yep.
buying.
I'm actually kind of surprised at how cheap it is, to be honest,
They're
because
selling it
everything
at
in New York is
cost.
so expensive that $14.95 just immediately makes you think it's worthless.
Yeah, I don't know how. I wonder how big it is. Was it? Oh, it's 22 by 28. So this is like
Wow.
this is a legit poster. It's not like an 8.5 by 11 poster. It's not like you're getting a sheet of paper. Like this is a poster.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. Later, you find out that they're printing them in the prisons or something like that because they're not making
my
hand
gosh.
sanitizer there anymore.
Well, what else you gonna do with all that quote unquote free labor
Yeah.
that we
Yep.
get? My goodness, this is like the hubris of this whole thing is just. I would say I'm shocked, but it's like the hubris and the narcissism of this whole thing. It's like politicians like Governor Cuomo don't seem to realize like how this looks to normal people, like how this just doesn't make us want to like worship him, dear leader. Like this makes us think, oh, this guy's like full of himself. Even if it wasn't him and he didn't commission it and someone just made this fan art, selling it on the state website, it's such a bizarre thing. Dude, like, if you feel differently and you're like, this is very cool, our governors should be doing more of this, like, give us a call, 585-346-3000. Give us a call, tell us what you think. Because I know, my opinion is this ain't a good look. This is weird, and I don't want my government wasting my time on this. I don't want them wasting any money on this. What is happening?
It totally feels like something that some like ultra rich person would do and put together and like proudly hang on their wall somewhere in their really long hallway in their house that they walk by every day and kind of go, yeah, I really just like this propaganda piece that somebody made about me. Like, it just helps me flex my economic wealth muscles. You know, I don't know. It does feel very eccentric and strange and like just above the rest of us. I don't know how else to put it. All right, guys, you're listening to Radio Free New York. We're gonna take a break. When we come back, I'm gonna show you guys the new New York State license plates and talk about what's going on with all the peeling, grungy, broken ones. So we'll talk about that when we come back on Radio Free New York.
Now, more than twice the power.
WYSL.
More powerful FM 92.1, FM 95.5 West, and 1040 AM WYSL Avon Rochester.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for today. Should turn out kind of nice. We'll see some sunshine, a few puffy clouds, just a slight chance of a shower. But most of today should be dry. Temps near 80 for tonight. Mainly clear in the 60s on Wednesday. A beautiful day with sunshine. Temperatures in the 80s. Could be some showers and thunderstorms, turning a bit more humid on Thursday. I'm Rich Cadelia, WYSL.
Catch a wave at Waldameer.
Waterworld opens daily at 11 with a giant wave pool, water playgrounds, relaxing river, and exciting body and tube slides like the incredible new 6-lane Rally Racer. The Rally Racer is the longest, fastest slide in Waterworld. Come experience the excitement as you race your family and friends. And Waldameer opens at noon with a variety of thrill rides and family rides like the exciting new Whirlwind spinning coaster. Due to COVID-19 restrictions, Waldameer is limited to 50% capacity, so there's no free admission. Guests must purchase admission tickets at waldameer.com or at the park. Children under 1 are free. Face masks are required. So visit waldameer.com, purchase your admission tickets, and come have some fun.
Catch a wave, catch a day at Waldameer. Your wet and wild summer getaway. Excitement waits for you at Waldameer. Waldameer in Erie, PA.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at SimpleTech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whenever your business IT needs are, SimpleTech Innovation should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Springwater Amish Workshop, your summer sweet spot. We have a fine selection of outdoor furniture items that'll make your outdoor living a delight to the eye, comfortable and worry-free. Our polyvinyl furniture can be purchased in a variety of colors that'll complement your living spaces. Springwater Amish Workshop offers a full line of storage sheds, gazebos, and carports, and a variety of styles and sizes. Springwater Amish Workshop storage sheds have the best warranty in the business. Pricing includes delivery within a 40-mile radius of Springwater. Come and see what's available at Springwater Amish Workshop, Route 15, 7936 Mill Street, Springwater, or check the website at springwateramishworkshop.com.
An experienced professional with more than 15 years in dentistry, Dr. David Olivo welcomes new patients to his family practice at 2005 Lyle Avenue. At the office of Dr. Olivo, you'll discover a warm and comforting environment staffed by professionals who are committed to providing the best available dental care while assuring your complete comfort. Call 328-3382 for an appointment. Dr. David Olivo, offering quality dentistry with a gentle touch.
We're all busy, running to get the kids to practice, rushing to get dinner on the table, hurrying to meetings, the store, or getting to those endless lists of errands. That's why more and more Rochesterians are tuning in to the newscast that fits their schedule. News 10 NBC at 7. Exclusive investigations, up-to-the-minute breaking news, and of course, your first alert forecast. It's how Rochester gets caught up before the sun goes down. News 10 NBC at 7.
Dispatch Custom Milling in East Rochester carries metal or steel cutting blades, Lennox, Sterling, and MK Morse bandsaw blades from 1/4 inch wide to 2 inches wide, with many in stock. Sharpening service available. Visit dispatchcustommilling.com.
You're listening to Radio Free New York.
All right, welcome back to Radio Free New York. I'm your host, Andrew Hollister. We've also got Kevin Wilson here with us.
Hello.
Hey. All right, guys, so here you have it. We have the new New York State license plates. And, you know, it's kind of funny. If you're listening to the radio and you can't see the license plate on the live stream, it says New York at the top in blue letters like you would normally expect. And the letters are blue, but instead of a yellow background, we are now going back to the white background. And there's kind of like a little skyline down there, and a gold band at the top that has New York there. So almost like a cross between the old plates and the new ones. I actually think it looks a little bit cleaner. What do you think, Kevin?
Yeah, it's a nice look, and I'm remembering this now because there's like a contest for these, right? And
Yep.
This is one of the ones that had like some of the upstate imagery, and it's like the old one and the new one kind of mixed together. But they got to roll out new plates because half of our license plates are all peeling and falling apart and looking terrible.
Yeah, no, and so it was interesting because I went to the New York State DMV website to try to figure out a couple things. One, you know, what's it take to get a new plate? By the way, I have no interest in paying for a new plate because I don't want to give the state any more money. I'm sure most of you feel the same way. Because I then saw like ads for the new New York State plates, which was interesting, and some stuff on the DNC website about what the new plates will cost, that sort of thing. And I was like, my plates are already like peeling, falling apart, crumbling, and I kind of felt like maybe I should be getting, I don't know, a warranty replacement on these plates that are, I don't know, a handful of years old, and found out New York State actually will replace your plates if the laminate is peeling, but not if your plate is bent or misshaped or anything like that.
So I get you. So make sure, you know, when you're trying to take it off, you don't accidentally bend it up in any way, because the New York State will be like, oh, sorry, you damaged this yourself.
Yeah,
Nothing you can do now.
And the cost to replace these plates it can be expensive. I saw some places on the DMV website as low as like $30 to get a new plate. I think it was like 36 and some change to get a new plate, but the old style, and you don't get to keep your plate number, all the way up to, I think it was $131 to get a new plate with the new style with your current plate number.
So it looks like it's $20 to keep your plate number, plus $25 for new plates, plus registration fees and whatnot. You know, extra fees. They sprinkle them on there. Just why not? Who cares?
It's like all over the place. I wonder, maybe the 136 included a registration or something like that. But yeah, I mean, just for a piece of metal, guys, a stamped piece of metal, it just seems like quite a bit of money. I think that we should just be able to make our own plates, Kevin. As long as it's got the number on there.
There's the real libertarian in you. I was waiting for it. Just...
I listen. I was gonna go as far to say we don't need them, and then I knew that people would totally push back on that and be like, "No, we have to have law and order, and we have to be able to track things." I'm like, "Well, maybe we could just make them ourselves then." You know,
you should be able to make your own license plate. I should be able to just laminate it and stick it on there.
Yeah, I think so. Like they could have some guidelines and regulations that you gotta follow, right? Like you have to use this font for the letters. They have to be this size. You have to have the 1 inch border around them or something like that. Um, but besides that, we should make our own. We should have our own
Yeah, why
plates.
not? I mean, like they do that. Like I've discovered like when you're making political materials, you have to like put paid for by like your campaign in a certain type of font, a certain size, and like a certain contrast. So same thing, right? Like you just like, okay, it's got to be contrasting in this way, and other than that and other than the size, do what you want, like go nuts, but you just have to be able to read it. That's a compromise position, or just be the one true libertarian and just go out and don't have plates, and then yell at people about how you're free.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm probably making fun of like at least one person who's listening who's like, yeah, no, I'm on board with that. Let's do it.
Well, you saw the one lady, I think it was. I forget where she was from. The story's maybe like a year and a half, maybe even 2 years old, where her license plate, the laminate peeled off entirely. So she took paint and like repainted the license plate like the gold and blue. Like it was off. You could tell that it was not legit, but it looked close. You look at it and you're like, yeah, you can see the license plate. You can tell what the numbers are. And I think she got in a lot of trouble for that. And I don't recall what the charges were. But I remember reading that and seeing that and thinking, isn't the purpose of the license plate so that your vehicle can be identified? And as long as your vehicle is identified, what's it matter who manufactures the plate?
No, the purpose of the plates is a revenue generating scheme for New York State by having prison labor make them and then selling them at a huge markup.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
That's the goal of the plates.
I agree. I'm actually trying to look up that story right now, see if I can find it for you guys.
Yeah. Well, in the meantime, we're getting some comments. Mark Pator's like, "Hey, every car already has a VIN number. You don't need plates."
Yeah.
And so that's a way to do it. That's you just have the VIN numbers out there, and other people are just kind of sharing some ways. So like, hey, if they're peeling, here's how you can take care of it. Just put some tape on it, do that. But New York State will replace your peeling plates for free, I think, unless they determine that they're damaged, which they might because New York State. That's what the state does sometimes.
So I do have the story here. It is says a woman is facing felony charge after Erie County Sheriff's deputies say she was caught driving with a fake homemade license plate. So I was wrong. This isn't the one that was painted. This is a different story. This lady made hers out of cardboard. But I mean, from a distance, yeah, you could tell from a distance, but it's still entertaining. The license plate was made out of cardboard and painted to look like a real plate, according to deputies. I don't know how to pronounce that person's last name, so I'm going to skip it. Was charged with a felony count of possessing a forged instrument and accused of driving with a suspended registration. So there you have it. It is a felony count of possessing a forged instrument if you don't have a New York State license plate.
Wow. Okay. Well, good to know. So that's what the state's going to throw at you for not obeying their rules. And I'll go smart. Like New York State inspections, I kind of feel similar about too. Like it is good to get your car inspected in the sense that you should make sure it is safe and drivable. New York State inspections don't necessarily do that. They're just a revenue generating scheme from the state of New York and a way for the state to say we're doing something about vehicle safety. Sorry, that's my small libertarian rant on that is I think New York State inspections are dumb. They're just mostly about revenue generation, not safety.
Well, if they were truly about safety, then insurance companies would have various levels of standards that you would have to have the vehicle inspected by because they're the ones liable if an accident happens.
See,
so
that's what I think. Like the market could solve this, right? Like we have this, why? So in that case, why wouldn't insurance companies say, okay, so if you want to continue having coverage with us, or you want to discount your coverage, you have to go and take this to a mechanic once a year and, show that everything's still working, that it's a safe vehicle to operate, and then we'll either give you a discount or maybe continue giving coverage altogether. The free market can solve these problems. You don't need the state to come in and interfere with this stuff. It's just another way for the state to collect a little tiny bit more revenue. Just another way to nickel and dime us here in New York State. And my goodness, do we have a lot of ways of doing that.
Yeah, let me tell you, New York State, they've taken all my nickels and dimes. In fact, I think we've got a coin shortage right now, right? So that's,
taking that too.
Yeah. There's no more nickel and dimes for the state to take. We now have a shortage.
Yep, that's where they went, guys. The other news media is not going to tell you that, but that's we're reporting the real.
Only on Radio Free New York will we tell you the truth, which is the coin shortage across the country is actually because of New York State nickeling and diming people to death.
Nailed it. Yeah. So let's wait for that to go viral.
There we go. All right, guys, you're listening to Radio Free New York. We're going to take a break. When we come back, let's talk about this petition to rename the Rochester Airport. Talk about that when we come back on Radio Free New York.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Aircraft Environmental Systems proudly supports Radio Free New York. Rochester-based leaders in climate simulation chambers for America's R&D laboratories. We're experts in troubleshooting, calibrations, custom designs, and consulting for more than 40 years. Industry pioneers, we created the first ever fleet of temperature, humidity, and altitude test chambers available to rent coast to coast. Trained and trusted by environmental chamber manufacturers, we are ACES. Find us at acesinc.com.
A reminder from Abate Monroe County. American bikers aim toward education. Distracted driving is dangerous, so pull over and eat. Don't try to read your mail and newspaper, and stay off your cell phone. Make a mental note to be more alert, making it a habit to expect the unexpected. Remember to look twice. Save a life. Train yourself to watch for motorcycles which are harder to see. Join Abate, and your family will be protected with a free $4,000 accident policy. Ride safe. Ride free. Ride often. Abate. If you ride with us. Google Abate Monroe County.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at SimpleTech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, SimpleTech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Radio Free New York.
All right, welcome back to Radio Free New York. I'm your host, Andrew Hollister. We've got Kevin Wilson with us. Kevin, you're telling me we're talking about changing the name of the Rochester Airport. So what's going on with that?
Yeah, so there's a petition that came out a few days ago. Right now, the airport in Rochester is just called the Greater Rochester International Airport, which is fine. It's,
Kinda
it is an
boring.
accurate description of what it is. Well, sort of. I don't think they do international flights right now, so it should just be the Greater Rochester Airport.
Yeah.
But someone put out a petition where they want to change it to name the airport after Frederick Douglass.
Okay.
So there's some push going on in that direction, which is mostly well received, I think. And then to me, I'm like, yeah, that's nice. Frederick Douglass is a key part of history. We already named the bridge after Frederick Douglass. Now seems like a good time for it. We don't name the airport. We haven't named the airport after anyone else, so we'd have to fight over that. So to me, I'm like, why not? It seems fine. I don't.
Yeah,
I, don't see an issue
I
with
guess
it,
I'm
but-
not overly opposed to it. I don't have a problem with it. It kind of goes against my we shouldn't be naming things after people philosophy. So there's that, but that's mostly like elected officials. Like the people who make the decision shouldn't be the ones naming stuff after themselves. So
Yeah.
I think a key person in history, which I think we can all agree he did some pretty good, important stuff that shaped the country. I could get behind that.
Yeah, and and it'll be interesting too, right, to see like if this did go through, and it might, if people used it like in the same way we use like LaGuardia, right? Like LaGuardia has its own code, or Reagan Airport in D.C. Would people be like, oh yeah, the Douglas Airport in Rochester would still have the code, I assume, ROC, right? But maybe people would use it like. People don't really use like the official name of the train station when I talk to folks. Like the train station's named after Louise Slaughter because she got a bunch of government money in to help fund the train station in Rochester. So it's like the
See
Louise
that's
Slaughter
what I have an
transportation.
issue with.
Yeah, I
right
don't
there.
like that stuff either. Like I'm
Yep.
not a big fan. Like okay, the politician didn't really do anything other than like get the government to take other people's money to do this. Like this is honoring the work of Frederick Douglass, who is a strong abolitionist, a classical liberal, and an advocate for human rights from Rochester, and like certainly a figure that's worth honoring, because of his impact on American history and international history as well, because of everything he's done. So I'm fine with it. And I guess Adam Bello the Monroe County executive came out in favor of it too. So he did that. The Monroe County GOP put out a statement a couple hours ago saying that it would be a good thing to do. And so all these things combined, it seems like, oh, everyone's on board. Now, I have seen some people who are opposed to it, some of which are just like, we shouldn't be renaming things at all. This is dumb. Why do we have to do this? And then other people, and there may be a point to this, and it frustrates me, is that somehow this is going to cost a ton of money.
That's
And they might be right about
exactly what I was going to ask next is what is this going to cost?
Now, this shouldn't cost a ton of money, but we here on Radio Free New York know better. Somehow, this is going to cost an absurd amount of money to rename everything. Like, we're going to be like $10 million into it. There's going to be like a task force or a committee formed about like the impact of the name and researching whether or not it's the best name somehow. And somehow we're going to be spending, like 10, 20, 30, 50 million dollars on this name change. Like I'm
I
exaggerating
have a
little
number
bit,
in my
but-
head, Kevin.
Oh, do you? What do you think?
$62.1 million.
Hey, are you making a serious figure? Like that's what you think it's going to cost? Somehow?
I think that's what it'll cost. Yeah.
Nah.
So
I
and
think it will come in
I can
lower than
explain
that.
why. So
Okay, go ahead.
think of every single piece of the airport that is currently branded that needs to be redone. Just that alone. Signage, the signage that is made out of like actual manufactured letters with lights behind it, all of that, all of the literature, all of the branding. My guess is reapplication of FCC licensing, possibly renegotiation of all the contracts with all the airlines under the new name, all the literature that all the airlines are going to have to use to redo their names. and I'm sure all sorts of other crazy stuff that we haven't thought about. That's my guess. $62.1 million, I think, is total to cost to the taxpayers when it's all said and done.
I worry that you're closer to right.
Yeah, I have nothing to say. I'm not looking at a study, but it just feels about what government would cost nowadays.
Somehow Mission Creep, like, it ends up costing just an absurd amount of money. Like, hopefully you're way wrong, and it only costs.
I'd like to be.
$10,000, and everyone just updates the digital stuff, and we slowly replace, like, the name of everything, and it doesn't end up being the mess that government always seems to make it. But you're probably closer to right than I think most politicians want to admit, and I hate that. That's terrible. But overall, I think it's a good sentiment. Like, I don't hate the sentiment though. Like, Frederick Douglass is, like, for sure a man who is worth honoring. I think he is kind of universally liked in, among people in Rochester. Like, and they recognize the legacy of the work that Frederick Douglass has done. So yeah, I like the sentiment. I'm on board with the sentiment overall. I think it's a nice thing. Just, my goodness, folks in government listening to this, can you please try not to do that government thing where you spend way too much money on this somehow? Just stop. Just come on. Yep, and that's our money. That's being taken out of our pockets. Just be a little bit frugal. Just do only what you need to do. They're gonna run, like, $10 million in commercials somehow too to advertise the name.
Yeah.
I
New
don't think you mentioned
Frederick
that either.
Douglass Airport, Kevin. I mean, we're gonna have to have marketing, commercials, videos with just beautiful B-roll overlooking some brand new sign that has the new airport's name on it. We have to line the contractors' pockets who have supported our campaigns. Cuomo is going to need to spend at least $1 million flying here on his helicopter with a security detail and maybe bringing his dog along for a photo shoot.
Gotta have
it will certainly be very economical. We will be very frugal with the money. Trust us, your elected officials who have been balancing the budget since the beginning of time.
Yep. And, this all happened while other programs are getting cut by like 20% right now because New York State's out of money, and somehow the state will still manage to find, $500,000 to blow on like a one-day press conference.
Yeah. But what the county legislature could do, they could do what they do with everything else when they want a virtue signal about something. They could write up a referral in the legislature and create a resolution that they send to Albany that says, we want the Rochester Airport to be known as the Frederick Douglass Airport. And that'll cost us a significant less amount of money, and it could just be known in the area as that without making all those big, expensive changes, which I do like the idea of naming the airport after him. I just don't think we can afford it.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we're a little wrong about that, but yeah, that is certainly something that politicians do. They're like, oh, we tried. We expressed this sentiment that's a nice thing and didn't do anything about it. Or this will be like a substitute for like other reforms that people want to do too. Like, oh, I know we didn't do like any of those like meaningful policy changes to reform the police, but we did rename an airport after an abolitionist. So like, that's fine.
Yeah, perfect. Civil rights reform right there. Rename the airport. Make you feel warm and fuzzy. Guys, you're listening to Radio Free New York. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back same time, same place tomorrow.